Today, we will learn new math trick. If you are wondering if there are random numbers behind me, they are not just random numbers but a perfect square. So what is a perfect square? A perfect square is an integer whose square root is an integer. It is a product of some integers with itself. For example, we have 25, 4, 16, 64, 81, and 9. But what if you will encounter larger perfect square numbers? Do you think it is difficult to solve? I will introduce to you a math trick that will help you easily solve the square root of a number. This method is called square root tricks. But note that this method is applicable only for perfect square numbers and below 10,000. Mom Kath will explain to you the steps of square root tricks method. Before we proceed, make sure that we had memorized the basic perfect squares from 1 to 100. 1 squared equals 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36, 7 squared is 49, 8 squared is 64, 9 squared is 81, and 10 squared equals 100. Now, let us consider these following numbers. Let's choose a 3-digit number. So let's say we have 529. Alright, how can we get the square root of our perfect square 529 using the square root tricks method? Step 1. Let us group the number in pairs of 2 from the right. We have here 5 as the first group and 29 as the second group. Step 2. Find the tens digit using the first group. Since we have 5 as the first group, then find the nearest perfect square of 5. As we can see, the nearest perfect square of 5 is 4 and 9. Since 9 exceeds 5, we will choose 4. Then, we will get the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. At this point, we have now our tens place digit of our square root, which is 2. Now, let's find our ones place digit. Step 3. We're going to find ones place digit using the second group. First, notice the last digit of our second group. We have 9. Then, find a perfect square from 1 to 100 that ends with 9. We have the perfect square 9 and 49. Moreover, the square root of 9 and 49 are 3 and 7 respectively. Hence, we have two possible ones place digit which are 3 and 7. To find whether of the two is the ones place digit, so let's proceed to step 4. Step 4. Let us multiply our first digit that we arrive from step 1, which is 2, to its consecutive number, which is 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. In this case, let us compare the first group, which is 5, to the multiplication result, which is 6. Let's consider these following conditions in identifying the ones place digit. First, if the first group is greater, then we will choose the greater number. Second, if the first group is lesser, then we will choose the lesser number between the two possible ones place digit. Since our first group, which is 5, is less than the multiplication result, which is 6, then we will choose the lesser value, which is 3. Our ones place digit is 3. Therefore, the square root of 529 is 23. For further understanding, Ma'am Bia will give you another example.
For the next example, let's have a 4-digit number. We say 6,724. Step 1. Group the given number into two pairs. So we have 67 as our first group and 24 as our second group. Step 2. Consider the first group. We have here 67 as our first group. So let us find the nearest perfect square of 67. So we have here 64 and 81. Since 81 exceeds 67, we will choose 64. Then the square root of 64 is 8. Our tens place digit is 8. Step 3. Consider the second group 24. Notice the last digit of our second group. So we have 4. Then find a perfect square from 1 to 100 that ends with 4. So we have here 4 and 64 that have square roots of 2 and 8. Thus, we have now two possible values for our ones place digit, which are 2 and 8. Step 4. Before identifying the value of our ones place digit, let us first multiply the tens place digit that we arrived at step 1, which is 8, to its consecutive number, which is 9. 8 multiplied by 9 is 72. Since the first group 67 is lesser than the multiplication result, which is 72, we can now conclude that our ones place digit is 2. Therefore, the square root of 6,724 is 82.
I hope you learned something from our video tutorial. Stay tuned for more math tips. Thank you for watching. Bye!
Bye!